Bucovina Club Stereo.
Если нам скажут, ваш поезд ушел, мы ответим просто, что подождем другой. И что на перроне скучать не пришлось. Мы накроем стол и выпьем за любовь, и будет хорошо. Все будет хорошо, все будет хорошо, я это знаю, знаю. Хорошо, все будет хорошо, он чувствует, я тебя позабавляю.
Nice to have you in Amsterdam, and tell us a little bit about the Bucovina Club and how it started.
Bucovina Club is, let's say, a wedding between anarchy and romance, and it's a sound spectacle which reflects the attitude of Southeastern Europe, of Balkan music, and it's even more like a story which comes more from the history. Let's say my family, they are all from Bucovina region, which used to be one of the most interesting cosmopolitical cutting-edge area in continental Europe before the Second World War. So they all immigrated from there and just brought a very interesting, intense culture in my childhood. And I was somehow experimenting with different kinds of music, and somehow I did this kind of homecoming to search at my own family roots. And I traveled to Bucovina in the end of the 19th first time, and on one side I found a place which all this colorful and all this cosmopolitical background is finished at all, but the spirit is still alive. And I like to put this kind of spirit, this kind of history into a totally urban pop culture, youth culture orientated background. I think these days, after the Berlin Wall fell down, Eastern Europe is quite a new and fresh cultural influence for the rest of Europe. I mean, the young generation, somehow we are a bit bored and fed up by the same typicalish Anglo-American music culture, which became a never-ending mainstream story. And the music of Eastern Europe, with its total virus sound, even it's Balkan or Romania or Ukraine, whatever, brings a really strong and new inspiration into pop culture and rock and roll.
Amsterdam! No. We need some hysteric noise. Hysteric noise.
Music you've been making for the past years has really been a great influence on the world music, and you see now how clearly the Eastern European world and the music world is coming into the pop culture. And I think you're a front runner of it all in bringing the sort of humor as well as the good musicians to the music world. How did you find your musicians?
When I started with Bucovina Club, it was clear this is a trip, this is a journey, maybe this is a never-ending journey or trip. And while this traveling, I always meet people, musicians, producers, DJs, like characters who are somehow involved. And I invite them, I do sessions with them, I do recordings. For Bucovina Club, it's quite important to have characters, to have people with a story, maybe with something radical or something, I don't know, cutting edge. It has to be a bit uncool and not correct, you know. For me, Bucovina Club is really totally the opposite of a fashion or of a stereotype of sound design. It has to explode somehow. It has to be very unreal, dramatic, emotionally, with atmosphere. As I said, romance and anarchy.
Culture can really learn a lot from this, and it's great to see how someone can break through and still create a dance floor, because the dance floor has been in trouble for years, from house to, you know, where do you go from there? And so you've taken it to a nice new place. How do you intend to extend it?
I mean, I don't know. My experience with Bucovina Club from the very beginning was that immediately it created a self-dynamic. I was never contacting festivals or promoters or even clubs just to let it happen. It all came by itself. Like, Bucovina Club has such a strong spirit that the people are contacting me all the time. It's like it started somehow in Germany to Austria to Switzerland. I do residencies in Istanbul, in the UK, in London. I just got this BBC award a few weeks ago. I will go to Brazil in October. I was in Norway, in Finland. It's really a kind of rolling ball, and I don't know where the story is going to be in 1 year. For sure, the club culture and the dance floor and everything which is around, it's the best way to communicate this music, because we don't need any marketing, we don't need any budget for make advertising, stuff like that. This is directly to the people, and it's directly exploding with the people. And so it's spreading, you know, to different scenes, to different genre. Doesn't matter if somebody is more into drum and bass or house. Like, Bucovina contains or brings so many scenes together. It's interesting. It's even possible to go there with your parents or your grandparents, you know. Nobody will say something.